Hello everyone, how are you? I hope every one of you is doing awesome. This is Gaurav Maheshwari, your teach parenting coach, sitting in front of you to talk something again, a new topic in the area of parenting of teenagers. After talking a lot of things in my last videos, I thought why not to talk something about very peculiar as in parent to understand as far as parenting and nurturing is considered. And today I'm going to talk to you something about example. So guys, it's my request to parents, don't give examples, just become an example. Gone are those days when a lot of teaching, a lot of telling, examples works a lot for a children to understand. These days children don't hear or want to hear examples. These days children want to see them live in you to make them receptive, make them more understanding, make them more adaptive in their own mindset. So talking about examples, if we see the following things in our own life, we will understand that these all things we also learn automatically by seeing them executed from our parents in our own childhood. Let me give you a few examples of a few things which we have learned seeing our parents. For example, if any elder used to come to our place, still used to come to our place, we touch their feet as a respect or as a gratitude. How we have learned this? I think our parents have never forced us to do that. It's just by seeing our elder parents or by any elders touching their feet, touching feet to their elders, we also came to understand that someone who is elder to us, we should touch their feet. Another example could be praying to God. So I remember in my childhood, before going to school, I used to read the Saraswati Chalisa. And how does I learn it? My father used to read Hanuman Chalisa every day before going to work. My mother used to read another one. So we also came to conclusion that if you want to do good in studies, you have to read some Chalisa. So we used to read like Saraswati Chalisa. I'm not saying if there is an impact of it or not, but how we have got such habits is just by seeing our parents, by elders doing the same. And that is how we adapt, certain things, seeing them doing that. What could be few other things which we have learned seeing our parents? So what I learned is washing hands before eating food is something that I learned from my parents, because they always used to wash their hands before they eat food. So we as in children also adapted that. I also adapted habit of keeping utensils always at the place where there is a dishwasher or something, so that it becomes habit still that after eating food I always find a place where to keep it, whether even I'm at different place. So these few basic habits always came into my mindset or in my brain, understanding only by seeing them as an example, right? Gone are those days when examples could have worked, but majority of the learnings today happens only to a teenage group when they see them happening at their parent level. And there could be major issues, there could be major gap areas which you would be looking in your teenage kid to improve on. But what you're doing is you're pointing that finger on their side and telling them, hey, you are good at this, you are bad at this, you are worse at this, you are worst at this. But you need to understand that the finger should be in you first. You should understand that if you want to teach them how to communicate wisely, how to communicate not in a very louder voice, how to communicate not using the abusive language, first of all, you should implement it yourself. When they see you repeatedly and consistently doing it yourself, 101% they will also adapt and change automatically. In a similar way, if I see some areas as in their manners concern, some areas in their dressing concern, some areas in the usage of social media, usage of mobile phones, etc. There could be many areas which looking up want to improve on them, and it could be cleanliness issue that they don't put the cleanliness around. So become yourself a role example, you become yourself a lead, take yourself a lead initiative to change those things within you first, because Mahatma Gandhi always say that be the change you want to see around the world. And I would suggest you be the change first of all yourself, whatever change you want to see around in your children. There's a very famous story of Mahatma Gandhi, when Mahatma Gandhi said once to a parent only who came to Mahatma Gandhi and asked Mahatma Gandhi to give a formula, right, for children not to eat sweets much. So Mahatma Gandhi said, I will give a formula, but after 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, Mahatma Gandhi said to the children that he or she should not eat sweets, and these are certain dangerous areas of eating much of the sweets. Then the parent replied back to Mahatma Gandhi, why you haven't told the similar thing 2 weeks back, because this you could communicate earlier also. Mahatma Gandhi very pleasantly and very wisely replied that at that time I also used to have sweets, and I don't have no right to preach anyone before I implemented it myself. And that's how a parent attitude should be, that whatever, if suppose they want their children to focus more on studies, they must first of all compromise their own day-to-day kitty parties and etc., day-to-day marriage events, etc., and find them for their children. Whatever is they will see as in you, they will duplicate it, they will try to replicate it. And your children are the mirror images of your own nurturing. So it's very important that whatever you do, whatever you say, whatever you wear, whatever you communicate, whatever you behave, is critically important for them also to understand how they should do about it. And at the end of the day, whenever you see any change, so for example, first of all, execute yourself, execute it consistently, become a role example. Once you do all these three things, then at the end of the day, if your children do some improvement in themselves in an area which you are thinking could be an area improvement for them, and they do it just by following you, just by adapting you, and what you can do at the end is just acknowledge it, just appreciate it, just reward them, just give them a round of applause, just give them some gift, just give them some moment of celebration, so that their brain get acknowledged with that moment, their brain get acknowledged with that moment of reward whenever they have tried something to change themselves better. And once you do this exercise constantly, I'm sure your children will be a different avatar. And it's not about posing the expectations, nor it's all about impulsing them to do something. It's just making it a culture of the family. So write down 5 things today which you want to change in children, and then write down 5 ways how you can change them and yourself. And I'm telling you, in next 15 days you can see a very small but a significant change in children in those areas which I've written to change. Yeah. So thank you guys. I think that's about me taking about, don't talk about examples, just become an example, and give me a genuine feedback again by telling me how you felt after seeing this video and what are the genuine improvements I can do in my upcoming videos. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Have a nice nice day tomorrow as well. Thank you so much.